tweeting.
Hey. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
What's going on?
What's going
Hope
on?
everybody's having a wonderful Switch's 6th birthday.
That's right. That's right. Thanks to everybody who's hanging out with us here on youtube.com/allinpodcast, where we record the first segments of our show each and every week. And of course, you're listening to All In Nintendo Podcast, the weekly Nintendo variety show where each and every week no shells left unturned and no point is left unearned. We got a bunch of people hanging out here in the chat, hanging out tonight. I suspect I know why we have such a lively chat tonight, Eric, but...
I'm sure I know as well.
But before we get into that,
Before you all dip out, make sure to check out bit.ly/allinmerch.
Well, we do have, before even that, Eric, the first order of business each and every week here on the show, we got to do something very important.
Very important. Every single week. We got
to thank the patrons.
We got to thank the patrons.
The people who make the dreams come true on patreon.com/allinpodcast. We begin our show each and every week by thanking them, especially our Golden Banana and Triforce tier supporters. So let's thank our Golden Banana bunch: Rob Yapel, Third Strongest Mole, Sean, Shano Baggins Ashton, Tim A, aka Neoprime33, aka Nintendo Dad number 4, Matt Shy Guy City Murray, Drew Agnew, Phelan Ward, Bill Tucker, Marcus O'Neill, Liam D, Solo Something, and Bowza. So thank you very much to our Golden Banana bunch. But our Triforce tier supporters, we want to thank Josh Vaughn, the godfather of Tingle Love Tuesday, John Datfast Cummins, who is not only
him.
Not only the host
him.
of the Retrologic podcast and On Topic Retro, but the benefactor of the Metroid Prime Remastered giveaway we're about to do. So big thanks to him. We'll talk about him a little bit more here in a second. The Globetrotting, Jet-Setting Nintendo Hubbin' Sparky of the Nintendo Hub here on YouTube. The Singapore-bound Sparky this week. In our Discord, sharing
jealous.
Sharing some cool
photos. He was like, here's my view from this past 11 a.m. How are you all doing this fine weekday morning? I'm like, oh,
yeah, we want to thank the great Adam Caparello of the Octorock 1982 YouTube channel and Retro Groove, Shy Guy, the other half of our Shy Guy mod squad, Danielina Hosa, Dan and Luma, and the legend himself,
the man who himself could be the giveaway, the grand prize of a spectacular sweepstakes, Uncle Randy.
Uncle Randy, thank you very much, Uncle Randy. We love you very much. So everybody, if you're tuning in, listening to the podcast, whatever the case may be, and you're wondering what the heck we're talking about, giveaway, hang on. You guys didn't talk about this last week on the show. You're doing a giveaway since when? Here's what happened. So I mentioned
what had happened was
what had happened was John Datfast Cummins, who I just shouted out, one of our Triforce tier supporters and an all-around amazing dude, he reached out to me and he said, hey man, I've got an extra copy of the physical version of Metroid Prime Remastered coming in from GameStop, and I want to gift it to the All-In community. I want you guys to give it away. And, he's done this before. This is not his first time doing exactly this. He gave us a copy of Bayonetta 3 to give away.
Yes, he did.
Again, he's just a great dude, a great friend, a great supporter. This is a guy who, by the way, we just shouted out as a Triforce tier supporter on our Patreon, bought merch, is eagerly awaiting his All-In merch right now, and is giving us like copies of games to give away. Like, he's just on another level.
Go give him some love. Go give him a follow. Go give him some love. Check out his stuff. He does great work over there in the Retro Logic community. Definitely check out our friend John.
Yeah, Retro Logic and On Topic Retro are his podcasts, and his Twitter is at On Topic Retro. So definitely check out his work. He does amazing stuff, and he's just a great human being and a great friend. And we just want to thank him so much. But speaking of that, we do have this giveaway to get to, man. And,
and you explained to me how we're doing this with this little app thing. Explain this to the people who don't know what it is, and definitely not me.
Yeah. So people who are watching us on YouTube right now, you see on your screen this app called Twitter Picker, which we've used before in previous giveaways. You can't see Eric and I right now, but you can see my screen.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, that's fair. We have faces for podcasting. So I've got the tweet loaded up here. So the stipulations of this giveaway was to enter, you had to like it, retweet it, follow us, and then tag somebody. And it's US and Canada only. We didn't want to have to make John pay for international shipping, which is still crazy right now. So I have got the tweet loaded up. We've got, the winner count of 1. And I can sit here and basically just load up our entries. We've got 304 entries for this giveaway, Eric.
Nice.
To draw from here. And then it's just as easy as me hitting begin draw and see who wins.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
And then, so what we have to do here, the winner, at least for now, is at Nicktoon Fan.
I respect that.
So what we have to do here, though, is verify that everything is on the up and up with at Nicktoon Fan. I need to look and make sure that they responded to the tweet, and I need to make sure that they are not like in Indonesia or something. Because that did happen one time, and it was expensive. I mean, look, no shade. We are happy to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just need to verify quickly. Here they are. Yep. All right. So at Nicktoon Fan, you have
congratulations.
Won. Congratulations. You have won the giveaway of Metroid Prime Remastered. So we'll definitely get your information, get a good mailing address, and John will get that out.
Definitely shoot us a message so we can get all the information, so we can get to you your prize, your Metroid Prime Remastered, as soon as possible.
Yeah, and we wanted to do this live so that there's no there's no tomfoolery going on here. Y'all saw totally random. At Nicktoon Fan, who is apparently a big Super Mario / Sonic / Angry Birds fan, and if their handle is to be believed, also a Nicktoon fan. So fan of a lot of stuff. Hopefully now a fan of All In. So.
Well, hopefully if you guys will stick around and see what we're all about. We produce a ton of content each and every week. It's not just this podcast. We do a ton of amazing videos, and we got all kinds of stuff going on. So definitely stick around and check us out. We think it will be worth your time.
Yeah, big thanks to everybody who did enter into the giveaway, and congrats again to Nicktoon Fan. So we try to do giveaways as often as we can, so definitely stay tuned. We appreciate all the love and support that one got on Twitter, and big thanks again one last time to John. Go follow him and check out his stuff. But sir, with all that out of the way, what's been going on in your world this week?
Well, it's been a week. It's certainly been 7 days worth of life, and a lot last weekend. I did nothing really but play games last weekend. Last weekend was the final couple days of the free game trial of Katamari Damacy Reroll. So I checked that out and played through that a little bit. I didn't beat it. I played the original Katamari, but I never got to play Reroll specifically. So I did check that out. That ended on Sunday. Just enough time for me to go through and finally roll credits on the game behind me, Power Wash Simulator. Gearing up for even more content dropping this week, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes. And on top of that, I, of course, had to finish playing through Kirby, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, gearing up for our full review of that this week. Ton of, a lot of rolling credits. A lot of rolling credits on stuff. I mean, just in Kirby, I rolled credits like 3 separate times. If you guys have played a Kirby game in the past 10 years, you know what I'm talking about. But again, we shall talk about that later in the full episode. But yeah, outside of that, it's been really, really busy in terms of like my life outside of video games, just trying to keep up with a few things. And I've even been falling behind on my Pedro Pascal, Seth. I haven't seen The Mandalorian. I haven't seen the past couple episodes of The Last of Us. I have a severe Pedro Pascal depletion in my life.
Wow.
I need to get more Pedro Pascal. I also might check out Creed 3 this weekend. I've been really excited. Yeah, Creed 3 just came out, and I've already become a massive fan of Jonathan Majors after Loki and after Ant-Man. So this is going to be a massive breakout year for him. He looks like he's going to be like the next big thing. So in Creed 3's been getting reviewed really well, so I definitely might check that out. But that's kind of really all there is to say on my end, which is good because, Seth, I have got to know why in the world my Twitter feed was occupied by toilet paper the past couple days. Give us the lowdown.
Well, really, like the past, I don't know, 12 hours or something like that has been.
Feels like it's been 2 weeks.
It's been all toilet paper, baby. Okay, so here's what happened. There's a game that
so what happened was
yeah. What happened was there's a game that dropped on the Nintendo Switch eShop, and we because we highlight the notable releases of the week, I've sort of just developed this habit of like perusing the eShop, a couple of times throughout the week just to kind of like see what's going on.
Me too.
And I saw this game called Give Me Toilet Paper. And it had a very interesting kind of like, key artwork, which is just this like polygonal guy sitting on a toilet. And
this nondescript businessman.
Yeah.
This low poly businessman sitting in a toilet.
Yeah, just sitting on a toilet doing his thing. And it just says, give me toilet paper. I'm like, okay, well, I have to at least click on this. Thinking it was basically just going to be another, 99 cent.
Mom hide my game or something like that.
Yeah, just shovelware thing, which we see a lot of on the on the eShop. So I'm like, let me just see what's going on. And I'm flipping through, and I'm like, well, let me watch a trailer for this. Come to find out, the trailers for the game that are on the eShop are actually just like instructional videos of how to play the game. And the way you play this game is you take your Joy-Con and you insert it into a toilet paper roll and you roll it on like a large flat surface. They were holding up like a big piece of cardboard, and you basically roll it back and forth. And I'm like, this is just so weird that like I felt like, and it was $5. Mm-hmm. I was like, I have to check this out. So I bought it, downloaded it, fired it up, and I was like, I'm going to make a video out of this because even if this game is horrible, it'll make a good video. So,
yeah, you and I are really attracted to unique experiences. And you watch the trailer for this game, and within 5 seconds, you're like, this qualifies as a unique experience.
Just the control method of it, because the game itself is really just a obstacle avoidance kind of platformer. You're kind of like in the mode of if you ever played the Impossible game, you're kind of in that kind of space a little bit. It's a very simple platformer, and your objective is every stage. There are 32 stages in the game, and every stage is just this guy in a bathroom who has run out of toilet paper. And look, we've all been there. There's not a person among us who has not been in the bathroom and goes, oh man, toilet paper's out, right? And you're freaking out. So this guy freaks out, and you are the toilet paper, basically making your way down the wall to help him out. And you're having to avoid obstacles. They actually get a lot of interesting gameplay variety out of it. They have, it starts off pretty simple with a kind of antagonistic toilet paper roll with spikes on it that you have to avoid. But then they introduce buzzsaws, lasers. There's you do. And then they introduce keys. You have to, gather keys and unlock doors and pathways. There's almost an Among Us vent moment. That kind of happens, and you have to make your way through the levels. So it's pretty interesting. Lark's 3476, the giveaway happened. You just missed it. Nicktoon fan won the giveaway. So we have that pin there in the YouTube chat for everybody watching. So anyways, Give Me Toilet Paper. The thing about this game though is that really is charming about it. It kind of reminds me of I made a game with zombies in it. You remember that game?
Oh
From, like,
yes, I
years and
remember
years
that
ago?
game. Oh yes. Oh yes, I have very fond memories of that game from my Xbox 360 days. That
Yeah.
99-cent indie classic. That's actually, I made a game with zombies in it, is one of the games that kind of made me start thinking, I was like, oh, there might be something to this indie scene.
So just like that game where the gameplay itself is like fine, it's really the
Mhm.
song that makes it. That's exactly what's going on here. So this like Give Me Toilet Paper is just so charming and like weirdly life affirming because it's already got the you're already like feeling ridiculous, right? Because you're holding like my setup was I had a cutting board because my thought process was I want to get this like inlaid. I have an inlaid cutting board so that the toilet paper wouldn't like roll out and fall out, which has been a problem in other videos that I've seen. John Cartwright made a video about it after mine, by the way. I was the first to the punch on this game. I want everybody to know that. John Cartwright made a video for Good Vibes Gaming, and he for him like the toilet paper was just falling like all over the place. So I was actually smart. It was a smart decision to get something inlaid so the toilet paper didn't roll out. And I'm working through it, and it plays this song called Toilet Paper by this artist named, I guess, Hyle, Hyle. And it's this like sweet, like J-poppy song that just is singing about like, toilet paper. I want to see you smile. Toilet paper. I'm coming for you. I'm coming to help you. I'm going to reach you, And it's just this like poppy, sweet kind of song. And like, it's this whole vibe of like, you're this toilet paper trying to help this man in need. And like, it's 32 stages. They get, like I said, a lot of interesting gameplay variety out of it, surprisingly so. It is more in depth than you would think, like in terms of the actual design. It is like not shovelware at all. Like this thing, when you're getting the setup ready and it's telling you, it has this like instructional, like 3D polygonal model showing you how to insert the Joy-Con into the toilet paper roll. It actually models it after your Joy-Con. So like, depending on what Joy-Con you're using, the Joy-Con displayed will be the color of your Joy-Con. The game knows what Joy-Con you're using. It's pretty cool. So you sit there and you're just rolling this toilet paper around to like navigate the stages, and going through the whole game that way, it gets really hard. Like really hard pretty quick because you're having to sort of reckon with actual physics, and momentum and the amount of space that you have. And it's like just way more interesting than it has any right to be, but also like charming and cute. And for $5, like I was really happy with it. Like I came in with like my expectations were below the floor. But like it really did like capture my imagination. Like I really had a good time playing it. And if you watch the YouTube video that I made right here on the YouTube channel about it, you can just see like how taken I was with it. Like it's just a wonderful time. Like I actually really recommend this game.
Here we are. We're about to enter the 7th year of the Nintendo Switch, and this is what it's come to. Talking about games where you control literal IRL toilet paper rolls and games where you're running around power washing
There's something
cars.
about it, dude. There's just something about it. Like Lockleth here in the chat says, I've listened to the song at least 3 times today. And that's me. Like that song has just wormed its way. Like, and by the way, I found it. Again, it's Toilet Paper by Hyle. There's also a remix to the song that Hyle did. Both of them are on YouTube Music and both of them are on Spotify. So I want everybody out there to, at least if you don't play the game, at least listen to the song, because the song is legitimately great. And I just feel like Hyle needs more recognition for this song because it's only got like 10 plays on YouTube and they're all me. So like I just feel like, there needs to be more recognition for not only the game but for the song too. So
hey, 3 of them are Lockleth apparently. So
apparently, yeah. So just again, like I came into it not expecting much and I really quite enjoyed it. Yeah, it's genuinely one of the most memorable gaming experiences I've had in a minute.
I bet.
It's really cool. And I know a few people who have picked it up since I made the video on it, because, you know, otherwise they're like, I wouldn't have even known this was a thing. And, you know, so I just like to imagine that everybody, and I do recommend, if you guys are going to play this, play it the way it's intended. You know, play it with the actual, you know, if you got a big old cardboard slab, whatever, play it the way the game intends you to play it, because that is what really makes it unique. You know, just kind of let it wash over you. I will say the ending is wild. The ending is like not what I was expecting the ending to be. This game has like a story to it, like a little bit of like an ending and a plot going on. And
well, I mean, never a more true noble hero's journey has there ever been than trying to help somebody out who is stuck in a stall with no toilet paper.
Let me just tell you that the stakes of this game ratchet all the way up, like at the end of it. Like, it becomes a literal matter of life or death by the end of this game. It's it's awesome. Like, I genuinely love this game. So anyways, check out the YouTube video if you haven't already. It's a ton of fun, and again, it's $5, and you know, you'll ruin a roll of toilet paper doing it, but it's worth it.
I got nothing. I saw the game on the eShop because, just like you know, I peruse the eShop just about every day looking into the recently released games.
Yeah.
And it, you know, it caught my eye because what in the world is that title? And then all of a sudden, a few hours later, I see your video and I'm like, oh my God, he picked it up.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It just, it's just a very, very charming, memorable, cool little game. So, yeah, but that's the big one for me. You know, I'm still playing, you know, I've been playing a ton of Kirby, obviously, just like you.
Of course.
Still playing Octopath 2. I don't have anything like further to report on that. I've been kind of head down on Kirby this week with my gaming time. But now that Kirby is more or less done, I have a few other kind of odds and ends I want to clean up. But now that it's done, we're doing the review in this episode and everything. And, you know, I'm going to be pretty much all about Octopath for the next few weeks, at least until Bayonetta comes out. So
nice.
It's kind of where I'm at. But turned into a low-key huge news week.
Bro,
so
like even next week's news is already kind of insane.
Yeah, it is. So, but let's hit this week, shall we? What do you say we talk about it?
Yes, there's plenty to talk about from this week in Nintendo news. So, let's talk about it.
Hey, listen!
Well, it was announced last week that we would be getting a Pokemon Presents this week. And indeed we did. This past Monday, we got the brand new Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day. Go figure. It's weird how that ended up, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? Nobody called it. Nobody
called it. No, sarcasm aside, on the 27th anniversary of the Pokemon franchise, we got the latest direct presentation from the Pokemon Company talking about their upcoming content, their upcoming events, and all the goings on in the world of Pokemon. And I gotta say, top level thoughts, meh.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but meh. And I'll tell you, there was a big red flag for me toward the beginning when they treated the reveal of the Yokohama key art as like this major reveal and announcement.
Yeah.
When they were trying to pull that up and blow that up into this big thing, I was like, this is probably not going to be a stellar show. But, you know, I'm happy that the Pokemon Championship for the first time ever is going to be held in Japan, the native land of the Pokemon Company. So that's cool. Good for them. Very much looking forward to seeing who walks away. You know, go Phelan. Come on, buddy. You can do this.
He's going to Japan.
Going to Yokohama.
Yeah.
Bringing home the trophy. Go for it, Phelan. But, yeah, they showed off some Pokemon TCG stuff there afterwards, and then we got a couple announcements. But, yeah, meh. It kind of fell flat for me. What about you?
Yeah, me too. This was a huge disappointment, frankly, for me. There are a couple of standouts. I you know, in the realm of the Pokemon TCG, I thought it was interesting how they announced the Pokemon TCG Classic here.
Yeah,
Which is an interesting concept. It seems to me like it's a little bit like WoW Classic, where They're basically releasing this like specialized set with specialized rules and like pieces. They have this weird like the damage counters are like little pyramids that you stack and
little
stuff.
cones that stagger like Russian dolls or something.
Yeah. And so it looks like it's going to play with a totally different rule set, probably, separate decks and everything. And there's a lot of details we don't know. We know it's coming at some point this year, and I think they said that further information is going to be given at the championships, which I think take place in August. So
August 11th through 13th, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did say that they'd be talking more about it. It seems like it's supposed to be some kind of premium card release or something. I don't know if they're going to be using card stock or any different materials to what they typically use. But it was only on a rewatch that I even noticed the briefcase that the guy was walking into frame with at the beginning of the trailer. It actually said like Pokemon TCG Classic on it or something.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what was going on the first time I saw the trailer. I was like, are there assassins in the world of Pokemon now? Is this a hit? What's going on?
Yeah.
But then they exactly like Hitmonlee or something.
Hitmonlee.
Exactly. I'll be here all night, ladies and gentlemen. But then, they started playing Pokemon, the trading card game, and they said some vague things about it. I, of course, me being the incredibly nostalgic person that I am, seeing the old starters, the old foil cards for Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. I was like, oh, I remember those days. I actually participated in the Pokemon League back when those were the current sets. So that did kind of take me back. I'm probably, unfortunately, not going to pick these up because the Pokemon TCG has ballooned to this unassailable monster at this point. But if the TCG is something that you're into, we shouted out Phelan a little while ago. Definitely make sure to check out the Damage Counter podcast where they talk about all that type of stuff. I'm sure Phelan has a lot of thoughts on this.
Yeah, I'll continue to live vicariously through him.
Exactly.
That's going to be that's essentially the Damage Counter podcast is like my tether to the Pokemon TCG. I'm just too far gone. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to listen to his show and live vicariously through him. But it was a cool announcement for what it's worth. There was a lot of like, to me anyway, this Pokemon Presents, and I feel like Pokemon Classic is like a just very evocative of like what we got here, which was a whole lot of nothing, like a lot of fluff, a lot of like, here's this thing, but you're going to hear more about it later. Like a lot of it was like that. We did get, of course, the usual slate of updates to mobile games like Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Cafe Remix, which is getting Scarlet and Violet stuff. And then the Pokemon Masters EX, which is getting more content, like
the usual suspects trifecta of these Pokemon Presents, Masters, Unite, and Pokemon Cafe Remix. We knew those were all going to show up, and of course they did. And if you're a fan of those, then you have it seems to be a decent amount of new content to look forward to. I will admit, Pokemon Unite, Pokemoba, got me for just a second when they said they were including Zacian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they showed off like that alternate outfit of Zacian in a 3-piece suit with a top hat. And I'm like, you know what? On second thought, I'm good.
Yeah. It's not for me, but there are people out there who it is for, and more power to them. They showed this thing, Pokemon Concierge, which might have been the highlight of the show for me, I guess. It was essentially just this like 10-second teaser of what is going to be a stop motion animated, I guess series, from Netflix, Pokemon on Netflix. And we got this little teaser of this concierge, I'm assuming going to be the main character, and a Psyduck. And it looks like it's going to be kind of a stop motion claymation kind of thing. And, I like stop motion. I'm interested.
I do too. Some of my favorite movies are like stop motion. Stuff like Nightmare Before Christmas immediately springs to mind. And the old Rankin Bass movies, like Santa Claus Comes to Town, and a little movie that you might have seen called Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I really like the old claymation stop motion stuff. I'm a big fan of Ray Harryhausen. If you know who that is, nice. Good for you. Jason and the Argonauts, Clash of the Titans, that type of like the legendary old stop motion, old claymation stuff. So I dig this. I really like I like seeing these because the amount of passion, the amount of work that typically goes into projects like this, I very rarely see a bad stop motion project because there requires too much passion and heart on the part of the creators to just kind of let it fall through.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about this. We don't know much more than that. It was a very, very quick teaser.
You had me at stop motion, Psyduck.
Yeah, pretty much like that. It was pretty much all I needed to see, frankly. But we spent a lot of time on the sort of reintroduction of Pokemon Sleep.
Man.
This was a 20-minute presentation, and I think like 8 minutes of it was Pokemon Sleep. There's a lot with this.
It honestly feels it honestly feels like Pokemon at this point has just they've got pools going around the office, like running bets with the president of the company is like, what couldn't we make successful with Pokemon? I bet we could literally make Sleep successful with Pokemon. With a lot of these spin-offs at this point, Pokemon's been around for over a quarter century, so the idea for spin-offs is they're very clearly running out of ideas, but I still don't even know what to make of it. It's a game where you effectively say, hey, I'm going to sleep now, and then some Pokemon gather around this big Snorlax within the app, and you wake up, and then you tell the app, hey, I'm done sleeping, and the whole point of the game is to collect sleep styles for these Pokemon, and that's kind of it. They did say that they are going to include some functionality with Pokemon Go, which, okay, there's still a ton of people that play Pokemon Go, so that might be somewhat intriguing, but it's hard not to just try to get on board with this ironically.
Well, I think that's what a lot of it is. I think that a lot of it was just the internet like feigning excitement for it and kind of doing that Morbius thing.
It's
you know what I
Morbin
mean?
time, yeah.
Totally. Where it's
like oh, that means they really love it.
Re-release it, put it back in the theaters. No, it's like a meme. I think, and to be fair, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here because while I agree with you, it's weird that we don't know what this game is, really. They didn't do a good job of illustrating like how the game works. Like, what am I going to be doing with this thing every night? I will say that I do like, I don't think that it's that they're running out of ideas. I think Pokemon has essentially, when it comes to some of this stuff, embraced themselves as a bit of a lifestyle brand. A bit of like Pokemon Go was how do we get people outside and walking around and socializing, right?
It was a pedometer in game form.
Yeah. They released Pokemon Smile, which is a teeth brushing app for kids, right? And now they've got Pokemon Sleep, which the aim of, I guess, is to improve sleep quality, make you look forward to waking up in the morning, which is what they said. And that was wild that they said that.
It somehow tracks data on your sleep. I can't imagine it's able to do anything beyond just recording the amount of time that you sleep. I don't know exactly how in-depth you can give it. I mean, I'm not a sleep analysis. I don't ever claim to be a sleep analysis, but I do have a little bit of doubt about how in depth that an app that you just push a button and say I'm asleep and push the same button and say I'm awake about how much it's getting from that. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know either. But to Bowser's point here in the chat, she says if I'm going to use a sleep tracker, it might as well have Pokemon in it. And I think that's what it is. It's like the kind of thing where, and I kind of dig that Pokemon has almost taken this responsibility of like, we're the biggest franchise on the planet. The biggest entertainment IP on the planet is Pokemon. And they're like, we're going to kind of leverage that to make
we need to encourage people to be better and live better lives. From that angle, I can respect that. I kind of
like it. I kind of like that. But with that being said, I don't think they've done a good job of communicating it. And I think that because of the like internet sort of memeability of Pokemon Sleep, that's why they have kind of made this up to be a big announcement and dedicated like half of the presentation to it. They thought that this was a huge deal to a lot of people. You know what I mean? And so for many of us coming into it, we're like, oh, well, this is a disappointment. And I think that they were a little blindsided by that. I think they thought they literally say something to the effect of like, you've been waiting a long time for this,
Yeah.
So
Well, I do think if Pokemon wants to go that route, and it certainly seems like they're trying to go that route, maybe they should create a specific, marketing outreach just for that type of stuff, because
I
this
think
was
so.
Pokemon Day. This was a direct presentation. This is the same type of presentation where we got news of Scarlet and Violet, where we got news of new Pokemon Snap, where they have had these massive reveals of new games that absolutely set the internet ablaze. And when you're trying to put Pokemon Sleep up next to some of those other reveals that we've gotten in Pokemon Presents Past, it does feel really disappointing. Like I said, if they want to go the lifestyle route, I absolutely respect that, but I think they need to create a specific marketing outreach program to inform people about that. If people are interested in that, or if they really want to push that, be more front facing with that, I think. And I think it'd be more successful. I think it'd be less of a, I would be much more apt to get the app if I wasn't kind of hoping for something else from this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's all about just sort of setting it, like, if they had like a Pokemon lifestyle social media presence where they tweet about this kind of stuff. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Bowser says you probably have to put your phone on the bed and it can pick up movement throughout the night. That makes sense to me. Or at least
that would be interesting.
Yeah, or at least a way to encourage people to not like look at their phone all night when they're supposed to be asleep.
That's
if
true.
There's ways to track that, I could see that.
Well, maybe it's not just the phone that could track your movement while you're sleeping, because they did introduce a brand new Pokemon-themed accessory to go along with this new app. And at this point, I just wonder if there's some internal corporate bet going on, much like Pokemon has their own internal bet to see what they can't make popular. I wonder if there's some kind of corporate international internal bet going on to see how many different platforms and accessories we can just add, how many pluses we can add to everything. Disney Plus, Hulu. Like, I think Hulu has like an actual plus.
I have no idea.
Version to their plan now. So
But this is is it the Pokemon Go Plus?
Pokemon Go Plus.
Yeah.
Actually 2 pluses.
Yeah, one of the all-time
That's too many.
One of the all-time horrible naming conventions. And it's also very expensive for what it is. So what this is a little like plastic thing that you can use to control Pokemon Go and Pokemon Sleep. So you can use it to, I don't know if it's just like auto-catching Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Because
that's what it says. Yeah, you can carry it with you. Based on what they said during the presentation, it will automatically spin Pokestops for you. You don't even need to have your phone open, as long as I think you have the app open, at least in the background. If you have your little Pokemon Go Plus extra $50 attachment accessory, then it will automatically spin Pokestops that you pass, and it will automatically throw regular Pokeballs. They did say something about maybe a setting that you can activate Great Balls and Ultra Balls, but it will automatically throw normal Pokeballs for you at Pokemon that you're passing. So, you walk to work, or, you walk to school or what have you, and you open your app back up, and all of a sudden you realize Pokemon Go has played itself for the past hour.
Yeah, I guess so. And the functionality it has with Pokemon Sleep is, I guess it can sing you lullabies. You can have Pikachu singing you lullabies in your sleep with a speaker.
There's a Pikachu living inside of it.
Yeah. So
it did kind of remind me of the little Pokeball controller accessory they had with Pokemon Let's Go, where you could actually transfer one of your Pokemon from the game into the little ball accessory and pop it and actually get that Pokemon cry. I did think that was cool. I did think that was pretty cool.
That was a great little controller. I liked it a lot.
I really like that little controller. But this thing, just basically as a little easy button in Pokeball form, I don't know. $50 seems really steep for this.
It's $54.99 for this. $54.99 is, to me, I looked at it and I thought, well, this is probably like $29.99. It'll be cool for people who are really into Pokemon. It's actually like twice as much as I was anticipating it to be. So, and yeah, you put it on your bed and Pikachu sings you to sleep, and it works with Pokemon Sleep, I guess. There are going to be people
it is admittedly adorable.
It's adorable, yeah. There are going to be people who are into this, but it's yeah. I noped out of that pretty hard. The one I would say big announcement for this
Yep.
was the DLC for Scarlet and Violet, which we all sort of anticipated would be here. The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero, which is
Yeah.
releasing in 2 parts. I believe it's the Teal Mask and the Indigo Disc.
Yes.
They are coming later this year. The first drop is apparently happening in the fall with the
Yes.
Teal Mask, and then the Indigo Disc is happening sometime in the winter. So rather than it being like with Sword and Shield, where we got the Isle of Armor in the summer and then Crown Tundra in the winter, which is kind of what I was expecting them to do here, they're actually just releasing them like back to back, essentially, which is kind of
I
weird.
would. I feel, and nothing to go off of when it comes to this, but I feel like they were trying to do the same thing, but the Teal Mask needed a little bit more time in the oven.
Well, I hope so, because I think that my hope for this, because they're announcing all this stuff. We didn't see any like actual gameplay of it. We just saw trailers. We got to see some of the new legendaries and things like this. And we got to basically get like a light story synopsis for what these are, and we can get into that. But the release timing of this seems like, we're going to be waiting for another minimum 6.5 months to play the first one. And then, winter can extend all the way out until, next March if they want it to. So it could be early 2024 for all we know. And there's a lot of like things to pick apart with the release timing of it, but I do think / hope that they have delayed it in order to make sure they don't repeat the situation of the game's base launch. Of like, let's make sure we have all hands on deck just trying to fix this thing right now. And like, let's make sure that these come out at a workable state.
Well, speaking of fix, I do want to make a couple points. The first being, I'm allowing myself to be a little more excited for this, knowing that initially it seemed like the only news we were going to get about Scarlet and Violet were the addition of 2 new Terror Raid battles for brand new Pokemon that just released following the Pokemon Presents. I really thought that these new Paradox Pokemon was the only news that we were getting about Scarlet and Violet for a few minutes. So very happy when the actual DLC trailer started, and I was like, okay, I can be a little bit more excited about these new Paradox Pokemon. And thinking about it, it is really exciting that they are adding new Paradox Pokemon post-launch. For those who haven't seen, a Paradox Pokemon of Suicune called Walking Wake, a past Paradox version of Suicune called Walking Wake, and a future Paradox version of Viridian, I believe.
Virizion, yeah.
Virizion, thank you, called Iron Leaves, just released. And the Paradox Pokemon were one of the coolest things, one of the biggest additions in my mind to Scarlet and Violet, and the fact that they're creating new ones and they're releasing new Paradox Pokemon post-launch, I think is really cool and really exciting. It makes me really interested to see what other potential new ones they have in the pipeline coming in the near future, and those I will be looking forward to over the coming months. I do hope we get a few more. I will say, to your point about fixing the game, we actually got a big patch. It wasn't just the addition of Walking Wake and Iron Leaves with the patch that released following the Pokemon Presents. They did add a bunch of quote-unquote fixes to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Honestly, I think the Terror Raid battles feel worse.
That's funny. That's what the patch was specifically supposed to be addressing, was the Terror
I don't
Raid
know.
battles.
Maybe it's just I'd gotten too used to them, too used to the way they were. They do definitely feel different. They definitely feel a little bit different. And again, maybe it's just because I got used to the way they were, but it was definitely different and definitely took a little bit of getting used to at the very least. And those new Paradox Pokemon are jerks. They're supposed to be 5-star. Those things are jerks.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten them. They released Monday. I still haven't gotten them. You jerks.
Yeah,
but I am glad to see that they are releasing new Paradox Pokemon.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. I'm glad they're doing it too. But to that point though, they released the patch. They had announced this patch a couple weeks ago. And we knew that it wasn't going to have anything performance related to it. I did pop in there to see, and yeah, sure enough, there's no performance improvements whatsoever. But it's supposed to address a lot of Terra Raid battle bugs, which makes sense if you're rolling out Paradox Pokemon. You know there's going to be a lot of people doing Terra Raid battles.
Yes.
But the game still has got a long way to go. And there's a part of you that's just like, man, like they really have got, frankly, the audacity to ask people to sign up for an expansion to this game that has no date. It's not coming for another like 6.5 months. And we have no sort of roadmap on how they're going to fix the base game. We know that more updates are coming. They've been very vocal about that. You know, we're going to continue to work on the game and stuff, but we don't have any sense of how that actually works. Like if they had said, hey, we understand, you know, here's the roadmap and, you know, on March, whatever, 15th or something, we're going to update to 2.0 or something. There's going to be massive performance improvements. This is what we've been working on since November, blah, blah, blah. You know, I would feel a lot better about that. But for now, it's almost like you have to be happy to be like, continue to be strung along and also give us $35 and pre-order the DLC that isn't coming out until fall. You know, it just feels icky to me. I don't like it.
I can see that. I can appreciate that. They did, hey, but they're giving you a Hisuian Zoroark.
Oh yeah, and some like outfits, I think, are as a pre-order.
And some outfits, yeah.
And the unfortunate thing about it too is I hate feeling this way about that game in general because the game itself is really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I still really enjoy it. But yeah, it needs some more TLC.
It still has a long way to go, and I don't feel comfortable jumping in on the DLC yet, and that sucks too because the DLC does look cool. I think I like both of them. I think are really interesting, and I actually really like all of the new Pokemon that they've shown, particularly I think it's Terrapagos and Ogerpon, the new legendaries.
Yeah. The two new legendaries, Terrapagos is the only Pokemon that we've seen from the Indigo Disc side of the tracks. We've actually seen several Pokemon from the Teal Mask Wave 1 of the Hidden Treasure of Area 0.
Yeah.
And, it's very clear that continuing on with the past and future motif, the past and future theme of Scarlet and Violet, that's very much what they're tapping into with this, even though it's set in the present day and your character is going to be going to these locations. You've got this very traditional, very olden style, almost Pokemon Legends Arceus feeling.
I literally thought it was a new Pokemon Legends game they were announcing when they first showed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have actually
you and a lot of people. It would have been really cool. That was what it felt like at first. But no, it turns out it was Scarlet and Violet DLC. But, hopefully they've got some patches lined up for the game because, they do look really cool. Ogerpon, Terrapagos, those three other weird Pokemon from the Teal Mask, like the weird Three Amigos, whatever. Somebody actually pointed out what they were referencing. I can't remember what it is. I think it was the Legend of the Peach.
Yeah. It's like Rotokama or something like that. Yeah. Shout outs to Tokyo Game Life, who is a really cool Twitter follow and does a cool podcast as well. They pointed out that it is a reference to an old Japanese fable of a Momotaro is what it is. Who that is basically already like that Japanese fable is essentially already Pokemon. Like that character, tames a monkey, a pheasant, and a dog and stuff. And that's very clearly what this is in reference to. I really like them all. Like, I really think the designs are all really strong. I think it looks pretty cool. It's just, and again, I think the legendaries look great. I'm already, speculating about what that Terrapagos, turtle who has like the Terra symbols on his shell and everything.
Well, he's got like all the different Pokemon types on his shell. I wonder if maybe it's something like Arceus where it could just become any type.
That's what I feel
has some type of ability where it can just become any type. And then, I can't think of Ogerpon without thinking of Xenoblade, though.
Yeah, just Pon,
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued. I just wish I could be like it's like with the base game. I wish I could be excited about it without any asterisks. Yeah. So.
But the big new game, the big new experience that we have to look forward to is Pokemon Sleep this time around. We did get DLC for Scarlet and Violet coming out later this year, but nothing for the Game Boy, the brand new Game Boy and Game Boy Advance NSO, no new spin-offs. The Pokemon Mystery Dungeon thing seemed like it was just complete non-starter. And I was starting to get my hopes up for Pokken 2. I was like, it's been long enough. It's been long enough, maybe. But no, the big game announcement was, hey, we're actually doing Pokemon Sleep later this year. So at the end of the day, it's hard to put Pokemon Sleep up next to new Pokemon Snap and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and not feel disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it is what it is, man. You know, what are you gonna do?
It is what it is.
Look, we remain Pokemon fans, but it's definitely
Absolutely.
It was definitely
Absolutely.
a bit of a snooze fest, but that's okay because there is plenty more presentations to look forward to. We have got a ton of stuff actually on the horizon.
Yeah, we do.
This
So much so they're almost literally overlapping each other.
basically, yeah. So okay, let's start off by talking about the plans for Mario Day. For those who don't know, March 10th is Mario Day, MAR10 Mario Day. And Nintendo earlier this week, yeah, very clever. They revealed their plans earlier this week for this. So there's going to be sales on a lot of different Mario games, Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey, blah blah blah. And they're releasing a new Mario themed Switch bundle, which is essentially the one that they released like a few years ago, the Odyssey bundle with like the dark red Joy-Con. It's a non-OLED Switch. You can pick between a full game download of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, or Mario Odyssey, and a Mario movie themed sticker sheet, which is releasing on Mario Day, March 10th for $299.99. So, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
We were kind of hoping for merch. We were kind of hoping for something in regards to the Super Mario Brothers movie, especially with all the hype that it's been generating. I mean, we've all seen the Kelly Clarkson clip at this point. Jack Black is Bowser, but just put some pants on. But the stickers, really?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like a case or something like that. I don't know.
That would've been cool.
Feels a little slapped together. But it is what it is.
And the fact that it's not an OLED was also kind of weird. I will say, did you see the new Mario Day spot with the new like Mario Day song?
Yeah, that's a cute little song. You know,
it's cute. It felt very Hannah Montana, but it's no toilet paper song. It felt very like Hannah Montana or something, but it was pretty cute. It was pretty adorable.
Yeah, make every day a Mario Day. It was cute, you know. And there's going to be a lot of merch. You know, this is really just a pit stop. This is just really Nintendo checking a box. I feel like, especially since there's no new Mario game on shelves. It's fine. It is what it is. But we do, speaking of the Mario Brothers movie, have some pretty big stuff to talk about. Chiefly, the movie has been pushed up 2 days.
Yes.
In the US and more than 60 other markets. Hits theaters in additional markets in April and May, with Japan opening on April 28th. But here, it's hitting on April 5th now, as opposed to April 7th. A Wednesday, we're getting this movie.
Well, in addition to the Mario-themed Switch coming out on Mario Day, we also have the final trailer to the Mario movie to look forward to come Mario Day, or March 9th for us over here in the West. It'll be Mario Day over in Japan. But yeah, next week on the 9th, we get to look forward to the final presentation, the final piece of media to hopefully finally sell us on going to see the Super Mario Brothers movie. Look.
They haven't got me yet. I need that final trailer to really sell me on this thing. Yeah,
I do wonder if they'll also kind of hit on the Mario's, because it does technically with the sticker sheets tie into the movie. I wonder if they'll at least remind people, like, hey, also pick up this Nintendo Switch to play Mario Odyssey or Mario Kart. And get some Mario movie stickers while you're at it. So
that's what they're gonna do. Yeah, they'll definitely showcase that. They'll be like, hey, and there's like all these, because that was my whole thing. I was like, man, they're gonna want to have a game on shelves, but Nintendo was like, what are you talking about? We already have a bunch of games on shelves. So they're gonna, they're definitely
not wrong.
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong.
They're gonna roll out that bundle. They're gonna say, hey, go buy Mario Odyssey for $40 or whatever it is, and go get this and that and this and that. One thing that I find interesting, and I want to stop and talk about this for just a second, is I watched the full Kelly Clarkson thing. I know the Jack Black clip was going around. I watched the entire segment.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's weird that nobody else is talking about this because we had heard these rumors for forever that this movie was a musical, right? And
Mm-hmm.
nobody's talking about how in that Kelly Clarkson segment, they effectively confirm that. Like, they talk in that segment extensively that all of them are musical, all of them sing. They essentially, Chris Pratt, at one point, Kelly Clarkson brought up the fact that Chris Pratt had grown a mustache for some other role or something like that. He goes, well, you know how it is to sing with the mustache and everything. I'm like, they're sitting here like openly talking, and like Keegan-Michael Key even says like how interesting it was to figure out how to sing in that voice and how the past 4 or 5 movies he's been in, he's sung in. Jack Black says something to the effect of like, oh, I think they cast me because of my rock star roots and stuff. There's going to be singing in this movie. And like, we haven't seen any of that in any of the trailers, but I feel like there was so much talk about that in this Kelly Clarkson segment that like, to me, they were almost talking about it like it was something that was already announced. And I wonder if that cat has not been let out of the bag yet. And I almost wonder if that's going to be something that we see a little bit of in the final trailer, some kind of musical number.
Well,
So-
it could be. I mean, at this point, though, with everything I've seen of the Super Mario Brothers movie, they could stop in the middle of it and just play Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch for 30 minutes in the middle of the runtime, and I would still think that they were doing something right, considering that they've done everything else right in the lead up to this movie. If they want to try some stuff with musical numbers, I'm okay. We did see a little teensy bit of that when it came to the commercial, when they very wonderfully remixed the old Super Mario Brothers Super Show theme into that amazing TV spot. But I mean, that's kind of the only real music you have, the only real song, the only real lyricized song from Mario history that you have to go off of. So I'll be interested. I'll be interested to see what types of tunes
It's
they
funny,
have. Maybe
man.
they got Lin-Manuel Miranda to write them.
Well, it's funny because like we've even seen there's that great, my favorite character poster they've shown so far is the one of Bowser and Kamek, and it's like
Yeah,
behind
just like
them,
this.
and
Yeah.
it's a rock concert. You know, I'm like, dude, Bowser's gonna have like a rock song in this movie. You know, and it's just funny. 'Cause I feel like they've all but confirmed it just in this chat. So I mean, probably half of the interview is talking about music. And so I don't know if we're gonna see. It's weird to me how guarded they're being about some of this stuff though, because I feel like a lot of people are gonna walk into that movie and they're gonna start singing, and they're gonna be like, "Hang on, what?" You know. So I don't know, man. It's really interesting. I love musicals, so like I'm all about it. But I know that there are a lot of people who are not as open to that. So we'll see.
Yeah, for those of you who this is your first episode because of the giveaway, Seth is very much the music member of our duo.
I mean, even beyond that, I just love musicals, and you know, I love this stuff. And even like Illumination is no stranger to that. Something like the Lorax, for example, is not you know, marketed necessarily as a musical, but that movie's a musical. It's got several big musical numbers. The music's pretty dang good too. So, you know, I think that we're going to get kind of a similar vibe with this. I don't know. We don't have long to wait. But in addition to that direct
next month, weird to say, next month.
Yeah. In addition to the Mario movie direct happening on the 9th has got no less than 3 special presentations. So we've got that happening. We've got the Level 5 Visions 2023 showcase happening at like 5 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah, which we talked about last week.
Talked about that last week. And then announced this week, Capcom is also having a massive presentation. Their Capcom Spotlight happening just 30 minutes before 30 minutes after, I think, the Mario presentation. So this is starting at 2 p.m. Pacific. Their statement here is, quote, "Tune in to the Capcom Spotlight on March 9th for news on Resident Evil 4, Exo Primal, Monster Hunter Rise, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, and Ghost Trick Phantom Detective." And yeah, why not? They got a presentation too. I think it's gonna be 26 minutes long. So good sized presentation.
Yeah, and 3 of those games we are very interested in hearing updates for. Exo Primal I've never really been, I mean, it's not coming to Nintendo Switch, but I've never really been too high on. RE4 Remake does look amazing, but that we might not. I mean, we've gotten the other RE games in cloud versions, and we'll probably eventually get RE4 in cloud version as well. But for us, the really big announcements here are going to be for Sunbreak, which is absolutely going to have details on the new free update coming to Sunbreak. And really interested to see what specifically they have to say about the Battle Network collection and Ghost Trick that requires them being showcased in a presentation like this. When it comes to Ghost Trick, it's, I mean, based on the trailer we saw at that amazing Nintendo Direct, it looks like at least a fairly straightforward, albeit very nicely up-resed version of the classic DS game. However, when it comes to the Mega Man Battle Network collection, aside from the new VTuber MegaMan.exe, I don't really know what more they could say. They've talked about online PvP and chip sharing and stuff like that, but I can't even imagine what else they could potentially reveal about a Game Boy Advance Mega Man collection that requires that have a featured showcase piece.
It's just going to be like a kind of like launch window reminder. It comes out in April, so they're probably just going to hit that again, remind people that you can get the game physically and everything. Maybe they have a demo or something like that.
Demo would be good. That'd be cool. Shadow drop a demo.
Yeah, maybe they do something like that. With Ghost Trick, what I think is probably going to happen, I think we're going to get the release date. It's supposed to be coming this summer. I think that, and Josh Vaughn's here in the chat says, you had me at Ghost Trick. You're speaking my language, my friend.
Bro, we lost our minds. We lost our mind. If you don't buy Ghost Trick, Seth will no longer talk to you. I can vouch for that.
Yeah, you're dead to me if you don't buy Ghost Trick. So I think we're going to get the release date here. I think we're going to this is just me being a fool. I got my clown makeup right next to me. But if you remember, when they first announced this, the press release they gave people mentioned a physical, and then they rescinded the physical part of that press release. And I'm wondering if they're doing that because they wanted to make a bigger deal about that at this presentation. They're like, oh, well, hang on, let's hold on to that. And so I wonder if they're going to roll this segment out. Hey, Ghost Trick is coming. It's coming on this day, and it's going to have a physical. That's my hope. We'll see. So, but we're looking forward to it either way. It's going to be cool. I'm probably going to wind up live reacting to all of these. If you want to come hang out with me at 5 o'clock in the morning, people, and watch this level 5 visions thing and learn about Professor Layton, hey, come hang out. Look, it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of cool news. I feel like our news roundup for next week is already decided. It's
already done, basically. Yeah. We just need to know, like we've already got the brackets. We just need to know the X's and O's inside of the brackets. There's so much going on next week. We've even got more outside of that. But we do have one or two other things to touch on here in the news. We have a quick little update about ESA's website for E3 2023. It's up. They've got a brand new website up, and it's there. It is definitely a website that you can go and visit. I will say, kind of depressingly, they do have an event calendar that just shows like the days. Like these are the on floor days. These are the press days, and these are the like panel days or something. There's no actual events listed within the calendar yet, and I get that. But it would have been nice if you could have launched this website with something to fill those calendars in, because having the event calendar for such a major event already looks so notably sparse. I don't know, man. It's throwing up more red flags for me. I want E3 2023 to succeed. I do. But this website is not blowing my skirt up.
It is what it is, man. We already know Nintendo's not going to be there. We talked about that last week. So
yeah, none of the big three are. So
yeah, for anybody who might have missed that, Nintendo did confirm last week that they won't be a part of E3 2023. So yeah, to be honest, I'm hoping for the best, but I'm not really tracking it. To be honest, we're just going to have to see what happens. But what I am tracking is the triumphant return of NSO Thursday, which happened this past week. We did get an NSO Thursday rollout. For those who've been listening to the show for a while, there's a moment there where every single week we're getting some pretty big NSO related news.
Yeah, we were.
Then they caught wind of us catching wind to them and then stopped. Doug Bowser was like, those all-in guys, they're on to us. You got to stop doing it. They got a name for it and everything. You got to go ahead and put the kibosh on that. But we did get it returned this week with the announcement of Metroid Fusion coming to the GBA NSO app, which is available on expansion pack coming next week, also on March 9th. So while we're watching these 3 presentations, we're also going to be playing Metroid Fusion next week. So
it's going to be a massive Thursday. And like I mentioned, when Metroid Fusion was first announced to be coming at some point to the Game Boy Advance NSO app, once that drops next week, we are going to have the entire core Metroid franchise on a single system.
Yep.
Metroid on the NES NSO, Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo, Metroid Fusion, of course, on the GBA, and, of course, the glorious Metroid Dread from just a couple years ago. So, yay. All of the yay. On top of that, we just got Metroid Prime Remastered. A lot of people pointing out that just like when Metroid Prime was released back on the GameCube, it released in very close proximity to the original release of Metroid Fusion. So
same day,
a lot of stuff coming full circle back. A lot of stuff coming full circle here again. So you love to see it. A series once thought dead by Nintendo now showing a lot of love.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. Excited to that's one, and I think for me too, it's also like cool. I'm glad we don't have to wait like a long time for these GBA drops. So cool to already have one of those. Metroid Fusion's a great game. One of my favorites in the 2, probably just under Dread, honestly, for my favorite 2D Metroid.
Really?
I'm excited to replay it. Yeah.
Nice. I do hope Zero Mission comes. I know we already had Metroid on the NES NSO, but I do hope Zero Mission comes because it was a fantastic update to the NES Classic. So,
yeah,
crossing our fingers for that.
Hope so too. But let's hit some of these notable releases here before we wrap up. I've already talked extensively about Give Me Toilet Paper. Highly recommend. Check out the YouTube video. I really loved it. It's a good game. So, yeah.
Check it out. Get yourself a little tray. Roll some toilet paper on it.
Yeah.
Work out those lats.
Yeah.
Work out those lats.
It's cute. It's cute. It's fun. It's charming. I really enjoyed it. Speaking of working out lats, Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star is out.
This is amazing. I love the fact that I'm never going to get it, but I love the fact that this exists. This is amazing to me. So yeah, if you're into fitness games, and you also like Fist of the North Star, there you go. The game you've always been dreaming of, finally out on the Nintendo Switch.
You finally got it. We got the drop of the Splatoon Wave 1 DLC. I actually did a little Inkopolis tour video here on the YouTube channel. If you guys are interested, what, if anything, has changed about Inkopolis in the transition to Splatoon 3. Spoilers, it's not much. And we also got the new update that is hit for the new season of content, as well as Big Run, which is going on right now. The new Big Run with the Ouroboros is currently active. I definitely want to make some time this weekend to play some Big Run. So yeah, a bunch of Splatoon DLC hit this week.
Weird that Nintendo and Splatoon are kind of really pushing the by far least exciting part of what's going on in Splatoon this week. You've got online table turf battles. You got the new Big Run event. They're like, hey, check out this area where you can walk around. And I'm like, guys, you have so much cooler stuff you should be pushing.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's still there's a lot of really cool stuff that is added to Splatoon. It got a pretty massive update.
Yes,
the DLC, the Inkopolis stuff aside, we've talked about that a bunch. The stuff that has been added is still really, really cool. And it's nice to kind of have a good reason to go back to Splatoon. And indeed, there is reason to go back to Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope with the new Tower of Doom DLC, which just dropped. That's an exclusive to that game's expansion pass. They also released a demo for the game, which you can download, which is really cool. If you're somebody who's never played Mario Rabbids and you kind of, are on the fence about it, want to kind of know what the game is like before you try it, it's great. There's a demo now. So, yeah, real cool.
Yeah, definitely check it out. The Game Award winning, the DICE Award winning, potentially the BAFTA Award winning game. It was also nominated for Best Family Game at the BAFTAs. But it's a good game. We reviewed it late last year. Definitely check it out. And also the Rayman DLC coming later on this year, which is going to stink. We all know it is.
It's going to be terrible.
going to be absolutely terrible. However, there was one more massive piece of really interesting DLC that dropped in a game that Seth and I have been looking forward to. Free content. We always love free stuff. And in the wonderfully quirky Power Wash Simulator, they did just add the special Midgar pack. A crossover based on the Final Fantasy Rebirth, Final Fantasy Reunion, the brand new Final Fantasy remakes, where you can actually go into several missions on Midgar and Power Wash, like the Hardy Daytona, the classic bike from Final Fantasy VII, the Guard Scorpion, the first boss, Tifa's Seventh Heaven Bar, all of these iconic places from one of the greatest JRPGs of all time. You can now go in and wash them down. It's oddly amazing. It's really cool. I've already done a couple small ones, but Seth and I, you and I have to get together this weekend and go wash the Seventh Heaven Bar.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've been meaning to test the online co-op. The game does have online co-op.
Yeah.
So we've been meaning to test that for a while. I think this is the perfect excuse to go in there and test it out. So,
but yeah, it really does feel like the month of DLC. We've already gotten all this stuff. We've got the even more Fire Emblem DLC coming next week. So, ton of big DLC drops already here in March.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely, guys. Good week. Very good week. Looking forward to next week as well. We'd also like to hear what you guys thought about this past week, what you guys thought about the Pokemon Presents, about Mario Day, about all the presentations coming up next week, about Mario Day coming up next week. Let us know. Reach out to us on Facebook at All In Podcast, on Twitter at All In Podcast. Come join our amazing, phenomenal Discord community, especially all of you new followers over on Twitter. Come and join our Discord community. We have so many amazing members. John Cummins, the benefactor of our giveaway, is another amazing member of the community. Go in there and personally say thank you to him for making this possible. So much going on. But if you're here watching, you know we also have a YouTube channel, which you should like and subscribe to before you bounce out of here. Go ahead and hit that notification bell. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We've got so much content going up all the time. But between that and the social media and the Discord and everything, don't forget, we also have a Patreon.
We do have a Patreon, patreon.com/allinpodcast. 3 tiers of support over there. A lot of amazing people that support us there already and get exclusive content like exclusive podcasts. Discounts on our merch, bit.ly/allinmerch, where you can go get yourself a shirt, get yourself a mug like Eric's holding up there on the video version right now, and get yourself a sticker. There's a lot of cool stuff over there. We really appreciate it. Throwing a few bones to your favorite indie Nintendo podcasters and content creators. We really appreciate it. But if you don't have any bones to throw away, that's okay too. You can support us entirely for free by dropping some words on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Audible. You can leave us 5-star written reviews that I will read here on the show. And you can also leave us anonymous 5-star ratings on Spotify. It's very free, very quick and easy, and very appreciated. Thank you for those.
Very appreciated. For all of you amazing patrons who have helped make the dream come true over these past couple of years, even though we've only had it available for the past year or so. But thank you to all of our amazing patrons, to all of you absolute legends who have dropped words, including Tyler, who just literally said dropped words. But to all of you awesome people who have done that and helped share our content some way, somehow, some why across this vast and amazing internet of ours, so that more people can bask in the glory that is All In. To all of you who have helped make that possible, namaste.
Namaste, folks. That's been the news. Thanks everybody who came out, who tuned in, who you know, even if you just popped in just to see the giveaway. I hope you had fun.
Are you not entertained?
This is just a part of the weekly podcast that we do. We have full episodes that go up every Saturday. There are always links in the video description if you want to check it out. Every Saturday on basically every notable podcast service, All In a Nintendo podcast drops, where this that we just recorded is kind of the first part of it. But we've also got a huge review discussion that Eric and I did on Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Speaking of Power Wash Simulator, we're basically pitching our top 5 like Nintendo crossovers for potential Nintendo DLC for Power Wash Simulator.
It's a lot of fun. You got to check it out. We had a lot of fun with that one.
Real fun segment. Had a lot of fun with that one. And then we are this entire month in our usual indie showcase segment, where typically we spotlight independent games on the Switch eShop. With the closures of the Wii U and 3DS eShops happening at the end of the month, we have decided to this month take a little bit of a different tact and dedicate indie showcases to games on those eShops that you can still go out and buy while you have the chance. And this week we're highlighting Shinen Multimedia's Nano Assault series. So even though we just sat here and hung out for like an hour and a half, there's still a lot more podcasts to come tomorrow. So look out for the full episode. We appreciate y'all hanging out. Hit that like button before you head on out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the Give Me Toilet Paper video. It's a lot of fun. And we'll see you guys next time. We love you very much. Bye-bye.
Have a good one, guys. Have a great weekend.